You're listening to Pyro Media Network, setting radios ablaze since 2017.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Put It in the Manual. It's me, your host, Fallon, and I am here. I'm here, child. Yeah, if you tuned in on our first episode, then you kind of got an idea of what this here thing we're doing is all about. And I'm here to bring another entry, and yeah, we're going to jump right into it. To know me is to know that I am one of those people who loves a good sit down, cover up, chill moment. As an attorney, as a wife, as a friend, as someone who has a pretty busy social life, pretty busy professional calendar, I have no problem sitting down, redirecting, and basically finding me some peace in a pause moment. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today. Peace in the pause. So we all are out here and we are living this life. We're in this culture where they're telling us that we got to be on go all the time, go, 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 hustle, hustle, hustle. Money don't eat, whatever, all these little euphemisms. But as a woman who is about to be 45 years old, yeah, I have become unapologetically comfortable in sitting down and taking that moment for myself and reflecting. But just different conversations I've had with my friends, different conversations with my peers. You may not even be an attorney. You might not even be the same age as me or even have as busy of a calendar. But I know that you are here in this good United States of America, and I know that you are on go mode. If you have children, if you just have family that's always calling or asking or whatever. I don't know too many people who are just like living in solitude. And if you are, if that is your ministry and that is your struggle, then I think we'll have a whole nother manual entry about that. I'm here for you and we could talk about that as well. But this one right here is for the people who are having trouble saying no. Social media is always making it look like everybody is always constantly doing something. And at this big age, I feel like I'm one of those people who have what I would call the opposite of the FOMO. I'm not one for feeling like I'm missing out. I'm not one for feeling like I should be somewhere. I'm one of them people that if my spirit says sit down, I'm going to sit right on down. I had a conversation with some of my homies, some of my friends about going somewhere. Like, okay, well, we know you're going to say no, or don't wait till the day of to cancel or whatever. And I'm not going to say that I think that's rude, but I also feel like you kind of have to respect your personal boundaries. And if I don't feel like moving or doing something on the day, if my body tells me no, if the good Lord above puts a sign in my heart that I need to sit down, I'm going to sit down. Fortunately, my friend group is aware of that. For the most part, they know I always have good intentions. I love spending time with my friends and my family. I love a good yap session. I love a good dinner, happy hour, whatever you want to call it. But there are just some times when I cannot push through. I don't want to push through. I want to just sit down and have a moment for myself. And I just think there's so much power in knowing your limitations, knowing when to sit down, and knowing when to pause. I don't want to find myself stressed out ever again in life. I don't want to find myself in predicaments where I've pushed beyond my limits, where I've made myself uncomfortable, or I've not listened to my soul or my spirit or my body when something was just trying to slow me down or tell me to stop. And it's just so important to listen to those pauses. I know it hurts to not follow through on what you said you wanted to do. And I'm talking about like leisure now, like not responsibilities at work. Like, surely we know that in our busy careers as attorneys or as doctors or lawyers or whatever you are, there are moments when you have to absolutely push through. But I am glad that there are times and places where that pause can be implemented in the work life too. But what we're talking about right now is specifically in those things that you're not obligated to do in your 9 to 5 or your traditional work hours. We're talking about life, the life you're living, the peace that you have, the little peace you have in this busy world to protect that pause, that moment, that quality time you get with yourself. Those are the moments that we are specifically talking about. Go back to my story. So my friends were basically giving me a hard time, like, oh, I know you're not gonna want to come. Oh, we weren't even expecting you. And I'm like, good, I'm glad. I'm glad that you know me. I'm glad that you are aware that I will literally push pause at any moment when I do not feel comfortable doing something, or I will push pause or exit stage left when I feel like my social battery has died. I am absolutely happy that people know that on any good day, any given Sunday or Monday or Tuesday for that matter, Fallon will be on her couch, in her duster, in her robe, with her comfortable blanket pulled softly over her, chilling on her couch with no problem. And that's cool. That's my pause. That's my peace. That's the moments where I am able to recalibrate, where I can kind of get myself back together. And I really want people to think about it. Think about your life. Think about what you're doing when you're caught up in those moments. Like, we live in this culture with the anxiety, with the over productivity, the extra productivity, the produce mentality. What are the moments where you have actually not listened to yourself and pushed through? Did you go? Did you have a good time? Were you miserable the whole time? Was the recovery process too much for you? Did your feet hurt? Did your back hurt? Like, we were at a certain age. Like, really think about a moment where you could have advocated for yourself and said, you know what? Nah, I'm not going to do that. And just imagine what you would have felt like, or what you could have done in that time that you said, nah, I'm not going to do it. Like, no. The pause is where the power lays. I just feel like that pause moment, we got to get more comfortable with the pause. And it's not a weakness. It's not holding yourself accountable or giving you the moments with your friends or letting people down. We really have to reframe it and start thinking about it differently, because there's power in that pause. Why is it so uncomfortable though? Like, I feel like we are in a society where pause is a bad thing. Like, the stigma, like, oh, you're being lame or you're not doing this. Like, we really have to get more comfortable knowing our limits, knowing when we have to sit still and figure things out. It goes far beyond just being lazy. I hate hearing when people are talking about someone being lazy or like not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Like, lazy is not sitting down when you feel overwhelmed. Lazy is not when you have to walk away from the crowd, or go walk and take a breath, or go outside just to let the sun hit your face, or just avoid people. Like, that is not the lazy that I think people are using when they're describing what I'm talking about. To me, lazy is like irresponsible. You're being irresponsible. You are ignoring your responsibilities. Your house is a mess. Your kids haven't eaten. You haven't changed your sheets in weeks. Now, That could go a little deeper. Sure, people may argue, oh, well, I'm depressed. I don't feel like doing that. That's a difference too. We're going to break it down. Willfully deciding that you don't want to do something and just ignoring it, knowing the task is there, and literally just being like, I don't want to do it. That's not the same as I can't do it. Now, if you're physically feeling like something's going on, then by all means, I'm a big advocate on getting help and looking beyond the manual. My knowledge only goes so far. I can only do so much. So if you are feeling that way, seek help. But if you're just in a space where you don't respect your personal area, your person, that's what I'm thinking about when we're saying lazy. This pause moment, the uncomfortable thinking that people are imagining you being lazy. This isn't what we're on right now. We're talking about sitting down when you need to, listening to your body, listening to what the elements are telling you. It's uncomfortable, it looks bad, the optics, whatever. The pause is meant to be somewhere that you seek out your peace. So kind of get rid of that idea of the uncomfortableness around it. And sometimes the pause can be from just like any type of activity. I've taken a pause recently. If you know me or if you've been following me for a while, you know that I am a very big advocate of the arts, literature, writing. I am an attorney by trade, but also a writer and poet. I've published books and hosted workshops and done all types of things where I've encouraged women and just people in general to write. I'd host writing circles and just different events and meetups where people can get together to be in community and write. And I probably did that consistently, I'll say 3 years in person and probably 2 years strong during the pandemic when we were virtual. Shout out to the Guild of Goliath, what we created, my friend and I. Hey, Ashley. We created that as kind of like a writing community online. Let's just say that I reached a point where life was lifing and I did not feel as if I was in the mental space or the emotional space to host a community of individuals anymore. I had to kind of reevaluate where I stood, where I just what I had to give. I had to kind of lean in and think about my capacity in the moment. I'll say eventually it went from just skipping a month of meetups to maybe radio silence. And those are things that I beat myself up about. I kind of felt like I was betraying my writing community or betraying the ladies who had become part of my monthly ritual of writing. And it takes a lot, like just doing stuff outside of your everyday can take a lot out of you. I know people have these capes and things that they wear and oh, I'm over this committee and I do that and I do this and I multitask 80 million occupations at one time. And that's cool. That's fine. Obviously, these people have, the space and the capacity to do that. But I feel like for me, it had gotten overbearing. I had lost my baby, my puppy, my fur baby passed away. And that kind of was the last time I hosted one of my writing events. And honestly, I just felt compelled to sit down. Like I had to reel all that I had been giving everyone else back in and kind of take a moment for myself. I had to sit back and really just lean into, I guess, what they would say, the essence of me. I couldn't produce any writing prompts for people, or I couldn't take the time to schedule dates for everybody. And I just felt like it was so overwhelming being in that space where just the thought of it kind of made me pull away. And of course I was stuck on that uncomfortableness, and I had to really have a talk with myself. I felt like I was letting people down by not being there, not performing, not putting forth some type of product for the people to get. Like, it was a whole internal conflict that I went through. And I actually had to have a talk with my husband, and I told him, I was like, baby, I just don't think I have the capacity to share my thoughts, my creativity, my myself, or my time with other people right now. Like, I don't want to let anyone down. I don't want to let this momentum that I've built up over these last couple of years go away. But I just can't do it, and I didn't have anything else to give. So I had to listen to him and myself. He kind of basically pulled me to the side like, hey, honey, you don't have any obligation to anybody but yourself. You don't have to give what you don't have. People that rock with you are going to continue to rock with you regardless of if you show up a million times, one time, or no time. People that genuinely care about you, that know your heart and know that you give your all to everybody and in everything you do, will not take offense to you stepping back from anything, and taking time in for yourself and getting back to a space where you feel like you have something to give. And he was right. I sat back and I read instead of trying to write, and I let other people do their thing. And the people who knew me and genuinely cared about what I was giving, they reached out to me and they asked, they made sure that I was okay. They checked up on me, and they understood. They understood why I was taking that pause. And I think a lot of them actually respected my strength for knowing when it was time for me to sit down and not necessarily pass the torch, but do some self reflection, take some time to heal, and just be with myself. No performance, no expectation from anybody, no call to lead. Like, literally just step back and let the world go by. Like, the community, one point of a community is that they're supposed to care about each other. They're supposed to step up when they see one person is not able to do something, and they're supposed to move forward when they see that maybe someone who may have been in a leadership role is unable to just give their all to it. I feel like a part of a community is accepting and knowing and understanding that sometimes people have to step away in order to better themselves and give themselves time and grace to do so. And if your community is not giving you that type of grace and giving you that type of love, or even if they feel like they got to walk away from you, then that's probably not the type of community that you needed to be in anyway. The pause is not supposed to piss people off. The pause is not supposed to cause resentment or make people second guess who you are and your loyalty and your desire to show up. It's not supposed to do that. And ugh, it took me a while to make peace with it, to be comfortable with it. I knew that I had so much going on and that my heart wasn't in it, that I would be lying not only to myself, but to the people I was supposed to be in community with. Like, you cannot pour from a half empty, almost tear filled cup. Like, you just can't do it. It's not necessary for you to sacrifice your own peace like that. And the people who get it, get it. Like, reevaluate your community. Think about who you're in proximity with, who has access. Will these people care if you take a moment of time to yourself, or will they let things fall apart? Will they disregard your position and everything that you gave to them and what you bring to the table, or will they stand in the gap for you? Like, these are things that you have to think about when you move around in this good old world that we're living in. Like, a lot can happen in a pause, and if your people aren't holding you down, then that's one of those things you have to think about and reevaluate. The pause should not be scary or uncomfortable or cause you to lose your position, quote unquote. The pause should not be something that you fear or that disrupts your life. Like, just shouldn't. And hopefully people understand that sometimes when you are overwhelmed and just overstimulated and just too deep into whatever you have going on, you got to take a pause. And it might be uncomfortable, but it's necessary, and you just got to do it. Like, no matter how it looks, you have to sit down sometime. You have to take a break. You have to give yourself that grace, that time, that moment of just pause, just serenity, to get yourself together. And yeah, with that, we are going to take a little pause, a little breaky break, and go to a commercial.
Pyro Media Network is like no other streaming network. We are not controlled by corporate sponsors or political influence. We are a network created by the people, for the people. Our people, that is. Representation is so important, and we are focused on providing that. So spread the word. Follow us on all major social media platforms at Pyro Media Network. Or you can visit our website at www.pyromedianetwork.com, and we will take your viewing experience to the next level.
Okay, y'all, we are back from our pause. I hope you took a moment to lean into those little seconds of a break, and now we can get back into it. So, what happens in the pause? I want to say nothing, but there are some pieces to the puzzle that I think we need to talk about, just to kind of think about what's going on and give you a better idea of what I mean by a pause. So for me, moments where I have taken a pause, where I've stepped back, where I have said, you know what, Fallon, you need to chill out. You need to, know your limits and just sit this one out. And that's a phrase I say all the time to my friends, like, yeah, I think I'm going to sit this one out. For me, it looks like reflection. It looks like finding something that I enjoy doing, that brings me peace, that brings me comfort. Sitting down, like, to me, the best feeling in the world is to feel safe, to feel close, to be warm, comfortable. And with my husband, I mean, shout out to my man. But before it was him, the pause looked like sitting around laughing and talking with my mama. It looked like us reminiscing or just literally sitting up watching something silly on television and exhaling screaming at the TV, playing Family Feud together, laughing at Steve Harvey's outfits, trying to answer Jeopardy questions. It looked like choosing not to go out to instead clean up my closet. I know that sounds like work, but I'm one of those people that is a neat freak. Like, cleaning is therapeutic for me. Like, not going out or doing something or obligating myself to be somewhere, the ability to just sit around and organize something, that looks like peace in the pause to me. Um, it could look like reevaluating yourself. Some people like to take inventory of what they've been doing, and try to figure out if what they've been doing worked. Um, the pause is supposed to give you time for yourself. It's not meant for anyone else but you. It's that time to think about what you genuinely feel is right for you in that moment. The pause can look like me taking a step back from hosting an event, or me deciding to sit down and stop overexerting myself for a while and just choosing to not do it. Just say no, just sit down, just be still. The pause can look like choosing to read. Like, you don't have to be in the mix all the time. Sometimes that silence is when you get the chance to do the best thinking. And honestly, I feel like when I was running away from the pause, from those quiet moments, I didn't want to hear I didn't want to hear the thoughts or words that would have been loud in my head or in my ears about what I probably was avoiding anyway by going out and keeping moving and refusing to sit still. I feel like a lot of us get caught up in running and moving and going because we're scared of the pause. We don't want to sit with ourselves. We don't want to lament on what we may not have or what we may need or want and have yet to achieve. A lot of people running from the pause right now just because they don't want to see the accountability written on the mirror of what they need to be doing. The pause is there for a purpose, and you should be using it to your advantage when you take it. Exhale, breathe, stretch. Call a friend that you may not have talked to. Decide not to do something. Say no. Like, these are the powers that are within the pause moments. How did I know I needed to pause? So, the signs of needing a pause. For me, I probably had several moments in my life where I didn't want to hold myself accountable, when I didn't want to face my demons, or when I didn't want to look as if I wasn't busy. Because, busy was the thing to be, booked and busy. Everybody wants to be booked and busy, and all the girls, oh, you're booked and busy, blah, blah, blah. Those booked and busies led to not knowing when to pull away and say no to a situation. Those books and busies looked like me saying yes to things that I ordinarily would have refused to do or would not have wanted to participate in. Those saying no's was something that I don't know, I just felt like it was a weakness or something. Like, you can't say no, you got to be down, you got to do what everybody else is doing, you got to do this, you got to do that. Like, what you mean you don't want to go out to 2 different spots today? What you mean you don't want to run this and run that and go here and go there and take this flight and run back here and do this and then meet up here and meet back there? What do you mean? I felt like I was missing out on something, or that life was passing me by. Like, what was I missing out on by not saying no, by not deciding not to sit down? Like, I really was out here just thinking I had to do whatever. And that was one of the biggest mistakes that I was making. I needed a pause so bad. I needed to sit down and take inventory and reevaluate myself. Signs that you might need a pause. Are you ripping and running on fumes? You don't know why. Who are you trying to impress? I don't know. We trying to build resumes? I don't know. Or we trying to give that impression that we got it all together? Like, who are we doing it for? Like, I got to give this performance, the performativeness, but really you can't sleep at night, or your anxiety is through the roof. You're overwhelmed, you're overstimulated. Like, you have to look for these signs so you know when your body needs the rest, or you know that your belonging does not need to grace whatever presence you're requested as. Signs you might need a pause. You've lost sight of yourself. You don't know if you're coming or going. You don't feel comfortable enough to just sit still. The silence is deafening to you. You're running from something. You don't want to look face forward on a situation you've been avoiding. These are signs that you might need a pause. It doesn't feel good to be overwhelmed and pulled in 80 million directions. It doesn't feel good to overexert yourself or get caught up in a continuous cycle of people pleasing. Those are things that don't feel good. And if you have found yourself in that position, that is probably a sign that you need a pause. The pause is necessary. It's needed. Sometimes we just have to slow down. We got to get back to the olden days of the slow habits, the slow movements, the days when your granny was just in the kitchen by herself, drinking her coffee in silence. She wasn't out with a friend. She wasn't at the beauty shop. She wasn't doing anything. It was the moments where she was paused out. She didn't have to cook, clean, nothing. She took those times, those moments for herself. That great pause that kind of set the tone for the day, that got her together. The pause is necessary. And I understand why they took them. It makes sense. So, what does a good pause look like? Kind of like what I just described. I think about like my grandmother and her or my mom when they would wake up early, the time for themselves. That's what a good pause looks like to me. It looks like me sitting back and just relaxing, sitting back, listening to my music, being quiet, or reading a book. That's a good pause. Just a sigh. A good pause. I took that one for myself. But a good pause looks like knowing when to push pause, a good pause, knowing when to turn back around, where you get that second sight where it's like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't go. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should just, wait a few minutes before I go. Like, that's what it looks like. You got to listen to those moments. You got to just stop. Sometimes you have to just stop in your tracks and really think about, like, man, why is my body telling me to sit down? Like, you've probably been saved by so many pauses that you don't even realize. Like, When people say, oh, I got delayed, or I missed this green light, or golly, traffic, sometimes those are pauses that may have saved you. Like sometimes not being in one place when you were expecting to be there on time, or you missed your turn or whatever. Sometimes those are pauses. Those are like God's pauses where He's trying to keep you out of harm's way. Like we get so irritated by these interruptions, but that is what a good pause looks like. You may not know it when you're in the midst of it, but it might have saved you. And that's the same thing as sitting down and stepping away from things and giving yourself the grace in the moment to just say no and just sit still. And you really have to kind of trust it. Like at this big age, I've learned to trust my pause. I don't feel like I miss out on any opportunity that God did not already put before me. I feel like if I'm supposed to be in the room, God is going to put me there. There's no place or thing that I've turned down that my spirit told me not to do that God hadn't already ordained for me. Your pause is something that's there to protect you, and your body knows, your energy knows, your spirit knows, like everything is in cahoots to bring all this noise and movement and energy and just chaos all in the world. And that pause is what is keeping you sane. Like it's the thing that's really slowing you down and giving you your moment to just gather yourself, get yourself together. Like trust it, like trust your pause, trust your inner voice, trust your body. Don't get to the point where you are breaking down, your back hurts, you're stressed out, your blood sugar all high. Like give yourself these moments. I've even heard people say take a pause before you eat. Like a pause is a very important and powerful thing. It sounds like it's so bad, like stopping progress or pressing pause, like everything is played, fast forward, go, 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 go. That pause, that pause is the piece that you've probably been looking for and have been running away from because you didn't want to take that moment to just be still. Now, you don't have to stay still forever. It's not meant to be a stop. It's not meant to be a no go or never go again. And even with this put it in the manual. This is me starting back after my pause. This is me putting it out there that I am ready to go forward and do new things and start back again. And just, I took that time I needed. I stepped away from projects or just different things that I felt I needed to. And when it's time, you'll know. Just like you'll know when it's time to step away, your heart, your spirit will always tell you when it's time to start again. And hopefully you're starting back with a clearer head and a better perspective and a fresh start. Like you just feel better after you take that pause. No, it's not a bad thing. You'll know. Your heart will tell you. The signs will be there. The powers that combine will all give you that burst when you need it. And sometimes it's just a matter of sitting down and allowing yourself the chance to marinate in whatever you got going on a little bit. Like learn how to pause without guilt. If there's anything that I would leave you, it would be that pause is important. And we're going to put that in the manual. We're going to put it out there that it's okay to step away. It's okay to be still. It's okay to Listen to your voice when you hear it saying and begging you and just like pleading you to give yourself some time just for you. Like, you need that grace, you need that moment. Like, don't ignore it. It's usually louder than we think it is, but we've been so conditioned to kind of hush, hush, like self. You don't need to sit down. Self, keep going. Push through it. We have to learn how to honor our bodies and our spirits and just everything when it's giving us that sign to sit still and to slow down and just pause. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing actually, and you'll have so much perspective after you have given yourself that grace and that time to just sit. I saw somewhere somebody had written it as like bed rotting or couch rotting. Like, I don't think of it as that, and I don't want y'all to think of it as that either. There's power in your pause and so much that you can learn about yourself or think about or just do when you pull away from that busy and that go 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 mentality. You won't miss out on anything. I can almost guarantee you that the world will still be there, and you'll be better after you take that pause and pour into yourself a little bit. And yeah, I think we're gonna have to put that one in the manual for sure. It's peace in the pause, and sometimes we just deserve it.
This episode is brought to you by Pyro Media Network, produced by Pyro Media Productions, setting brands ablaze since 2017. Thank you for listening.